Gentle lady man. I mean, lady boy gentleman. I mean, lady boy ladies and gentlemen. Is ghost slop. We're going to figure it out, okay? We need to figure out what is slop. Then second, how to detect slop. Third, lady boys and gentlemen, we need to figure out third, how much of the catalog is slop or not. Fourth is, are they even talented? And fifth, finally, if you and other people are going to say they're slop or not. So let's just get right into it. What is slop, okay? The music matrix tells us energy is on the right. Catchiness is freaking on the bottom, okay? Okay, lady boys and gentlemen. No, so 0 to 10 on catchiness, 0 to 11 on energy. Okay, if it's less than 7 on catchiness, it's slop. That's what people, if you're not a fan of this energy level, if you're not a fan of indie and it's not catchy, you're going to call anything in here slop. A fan of it might call it indie, right? But you're going to call it slop. So if it is catchy, though, when it's high energy, it's above the energy line and above the catchiness threshold, the slop threshold, it's going to be called rock. If it's low energy and it's really catchy, it's going to be called pop. It's going to be called rock, pop, or slop. Unless you're a fan, you might call it something different. Energy, it's easy to observe. How do we figure out energy? That's freaking easy. If it's like here, it's going to make people go to sleep and dance or sleep. Here, it's going to make people like dance, 3 to 7. 6 to 11, it's going to make people mosh and like fight, maybe 7 to 11. But catchiness, how do we figure that out? Catchiness is multi-factorate. It's many factors to it. So how do we figure it out? We're going to look here at the catchiness. I swear to God, this thing is trying to make me lose my poo-poo. I didn't remember to tape that. I keep forgetting to tape that. But here's the catchiness index. If something is really predictable, it gives us predictability, average predictability across elements, gives us the best indicator of the likelihood of it being slop, just for fans of that band or genre, a hit and or a smash hit, which is even rarer. So something is completely corny on average. So okay, this is an important detail for specifically Ghost. If there's something in the song that is, let's say, really predictable and boring, but there's another thing that's really interesting and weird and unique, on average, it's going to be balanced, even though each of those things are not balanced at all. They're extremes. So things average, right? The songwriting can be completely incoherent, and the vocals can be really predictable. So you could have corny vocals and an incoherent song structure, and so then it's very balanced, or it's in the sweet spot in the money zone, but then it still ends up being slop. Ghost. The riff could be amazing, and then the rest of the song could be slop. And so on average, it could still be slop, right? Or it could just be something for fans or for everyone. So now that we know that, how much of Ghost's catalog is undeniably good, is above a 7 catchy, is a hit quality song, how much is slop, yada, 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 right? So here's where we look at the catalog audit. This is, this is the ratio of the quality to the quantity. This is hit quality music. This is slop. This is stuff that's just for fans. So hence, if it looks like this, it's OnlyFans. OnlyFans. If you like, Motorhead, Slayer, Frank Zappa, they don't have any hits or any slop really, or stuff for no one. It's mostly stuff that's just for fans, right? Weezer's the opposite of that, right? Weezer and Queen, they have stuff that's either for everyone or for no one, right? Less than 50-50. At classic catalog is where it's mostly stuff for everyone. It's just undeniably great. And then there's a good bit of stuff for fans and pretty much no slop. 50-50, think 3 albums that are amazing, 3 albums that are for fans, 3 albums that are complete garbage, right? And it's Nails, Led Zeppelin, yada, yada, yada. And then here we get the less than 50-50, the dreaded less than 50-50, where most of it is completely unlistenable garbage and it just doesn't come together into a good song. And then there's some stuff that's for fans, and there's even less hits. The hits, there can be a lot of hits, but relative to the amount of music they put out, it's like if, it's a broken clock is right twice a day. A broken watch, look at that, Rolly, blood. No, it can be right twice a day, right? So you could have 80 billion songs and 2 hits and be like, we're really good. We have 10 hits or whatever. It's like you have 8. On average, you suck. You got lucky. You know what I mean? It's just like, it's volume. You did the volume. You're not good. Someone might say they're not good, but other people would say they're great. I love David Bowie because of the 15 songs he has that are great. That's where it gets controversial. So this gives us an idea of, are people going to call a band slop or not? This is where Ghost is. Ghost is a less than 50-50 band. I went through the catalog. I like rock. I like metal. I like pop. Nah. Most of it's not listenable. And most of it I'm like, skip to the next part, skip to the next thing. There's some interesting stuff. There's a kernel of something interesting in almost every song. And I do like a lot of songs, and I think they're really good hits. And overall, I don't think Ghost is slop. Like here, I wouldn't call Limp Bizkit slop. I might be more likely to call them slop because they have more stuff that is unlistenable. But Ghost has really good stuff. It's their ability to bring it together into coherent songs and to make the songs work isn't always there. And so this is where we're going to go to our last chart, which is the talent chart. If an artist, a group, a band, or whatever has, let's say Kim Kardashian walks into a supermarket, right? She sees a Metallica t-shirt and she goes, wow, that's a really good clothing brand. I'm going to buy that. That's really cool. She might kind of do that for a Van Halen shirt, and then for something completely unknown or just doesn't have good graphic design, she go, But like the Misfits and like Metallica, they get a green on brand. Normie just sees the logo, the outfit, they hear the name, they go, oh, I think I've heard that before. Like, that's a green. Ghost does amazing on that. Ghost, Kiss, Metallica, Misfits, merchandise brands. This is merch. This is the merch almost, kind of like that kind of thing. Musicianship from Ghost, they're getting a yellow because they have amazing stuff, but like when this is the category of, do I hear the band and then go, oh wow, I need to learn the instrument. This band inspired me to pick up this instrument to learn this one song. I like Ghost, but I'm already a guitarist, and I grit through parts of the songs that suck to get to and to find the gems that I like, and then I go, ooh, that gives me an idea. They're not on the surface. They're not apparent. This is not Van Halen. If you're Van Halen, Van Halen gets a green here and gets a yellow here because the brand's good, but no one's buying a Van Halen t-shirt. Maybe they will. Like, if you don't know Van Halen, you're not going, oh, that's a great shirt, I need to buy it. You're like, the thing, maybe, right? Versus Ghost t-shirt, you don't even have to listen to them. You go, oh, I'm buying that t-shirt, right? Musicianship, you're not going like, oh, wow, I heard Eruption. Like, you hear Eruption, you're like, oh, my God, I got to learn guitar. You hear, I guess this is a bad example, but you hear like Watcher in the Sky. But if you hear Mary on a Cross, you're not going to go like, Mary on the Cross, I really need to pick up an instrument. It's not going to inspire that. So they get a yellow there, if anything. And then the songwriting, I like Ghost, but they're so inconsistently good, I can't give them anything but a red here. Like, they have good solos. They have good riffs sometimes, but like even then, like the riffs are kind of like cookie cutter, fill in the blank. Not always, but on like the earlier stuff, and just like even like the albums I really like, and you'll see the songs. It's just like there's everything there, but it's either they don't spend enough time getting it to work, or they just say, oh, it's good enough. It's like, it all feels like rough drafts from someone who's really talented, but who doesn't like sit there. And so sometimes the rough draft was perfect the first time. They got lucky. But it's like if you saw the first draft of Star Wars, you'd probably be like, there's all these good things here, but like, it's not Star Wars, so I can't act like it's Star Wars and be like, wow, it's amazing, give it green, 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 green. You didn't make it Star Wars. Revise the draft. Come on. It's like, dude. And this is so good. This is what frustrates me. Like Faith No More similar, right? Where it's like, everything's here. And so kind of Ghost is kind of doing that now on the later albums, right? And they're really starting to tighten it up. But even then, it's still like, be a little more disciplined. That's what I would urge. But yeah, so because of that, now we get to the final verdict of, are people going to say that Ghost are slop or not? And this is not saying that Ghost, good or bad or what. It's like, all this is saying is because of these different arguments, I can make an argument in all these different directions. That tells us, it does not tell us if they're slop or not. What it does for sure tell us, though, is that they are controversial. Some people will say they're amazing. Some people say they're slop just because they're divided on the talent. Some people who are like, I love the t-shirts. everything else is good enough if I squint my eyes. They're amazing, and I'm going to listen to it over and over and over, and then now I've just fallen in love because I'm so used to it, and they have things going for them and things that they're okay at. Like, that person's going to say, I love Ghost, they're incredible, they're amazing. Other person who just like, I think the brand's fine, and then they hear the songs, they're like, sounds like a band who didn't try. Like, they're going to say, not good. So it's going to be split. People are going to disagree is what I'm saying. That's the controversy element. Catalog, like we said, the talents, brand, not really the other two. Controversy level, high. And then here are my top 10 songs. Most people think about what are my top 10 songs. They don't think about one song. They don't think about the entire catalog. They think, okay, out of the ones I remember, which are usually the ones the 10 they like the best, they go, how good was it? So Mariana Cross, Dance Macabre, Call Me Little Sunshine, Spillways, Ritual, Sariki, I don't know how to pronounce them, From the Pinnacle to the Pit, and Kaisarion, The Prophecy Told, and the look at that, a good song. They did it. They wrote a really good song, and with high energy. Like, that's the thing. Not many people can write high energy and really catchy songs, and so they can, and they do. But they don't have the discipline to do it every time. And they leave songs that could be, and then they just don't, like, fiddle with it enough. It's like, a lot of bands and artists have this story where it's like, so the reason I get upset about Ghost, I'm very passionate, maybe not upset, but it's like, I love high energy and catchy music. I love stuff that's right up here, where it's in the metal zone, but it's also really catchy. And very rare bands actually are able to get there. And they do, but they won't do it repeatedly. Like Watcher in the Sky, like these things, they get right to this range, and they just hot. And so I'm like, guys, just take, like, if you have, like, the first album, it's like, take half the songs and take the 3 good riffs or the 2 good riffs or the 1 good riff, the really good part of that song, and take 3 other songs and take the 1 good or 2 good parts from each song and make one incredible song like Kaisarion or like Watcher in the Sky or Hunter's Moon. Hunter's Moon is like low energy. Like, here's the thing, like, they'll have like, here's bland, mildly high energy riff. It's really generic and doesn't go anywhere with bad structure. And then let's go into pop chorus that's catchy but low energy. It's like the songs, here's the problem, is you're averaging energy and you're averaging catchiness. So you're going to have this bad metal riff that's like total slop. It's like a 3 on catchiness. It's completely forgettable, like a 2. But it's like good energy. It's like a 9. And then you're going to have like a pop chorus that's like a 3 on energy. That's like an 8. And so you're averaging like these 2 things. So it ends up like maybe here, or sometimes it ends up like, it ends up in like the pop rock zone on average. But if you actually look at the songs, like that's the thing is, here's what it is. If you break down Ghost, they end up usually with, if you just split the songs in half, if you go verses and choruses and you plot each verse and each chorus, you're going to have a bunch of dots that are right here and a bunch of dots that are right here. And so on average, it's rock and or punk and or metal, and you might have some dots up here too. You're going to have some dots that are up here, dots here, dots here. But if you average the whole catalog, it's going to end up here or somewhere here, because there's so much of this. There's very few good parts and good whole songs. So it's like, but then you look at the songs, you're like, well, they average out to like here. And so you get a couple, and so you get like, on average, what did I say? The average catchiness, yeah, exactly, is a 6.3 and then 8.7. So it's like really catchy. But so it averages out to like this spot, right? Exactly like I was saying. Because you've got stuff that's like here and stuff that's here, so it averages out to like here. But it's just like, they don't always pull it off, right? And so it's just a lot. It's a lot. I really, really hope they make these riffs catchier, make these things higher energy. Done. That's why. So they're controversial. People are going to defend them and say they're the best thing ever. They're amazing. And then other people are going to say they're total slop. So are they slop or not? My opinion, where do they get? They got 8.7 on catchiness. Overall, I say no, though. I say no, because they're 8.7. They're 8.7 on catchiness. They're past the slop line. On my top 10 songs, they're past the slop line for sure. Like, for sure. But if you average my top 20, they're going to probably get closer to here. And then you average top 30, 40, they end up all the way over here in terms of like slop, low energy, or medium energy slop. Like, that's the problem. So are they slop? No. I think over time their average will go up because they are good. Here's the thing. They're good. They're not slop, but I think they might be lazy. I think love Tobias, just more discipline. Just be disciplined with yourself in the sense, like, do more drafts. Combine songs that don't have the je ne sais quoi. They don't have the juice to it. Just do that. Just do that. Do right by your fans. You have the great branding. You have the great marketing. They go to the show. You guys put on an amazing live show. Like, even if you want to, go back to your earlier songs and, like, throw 3 of them together and make them into, like, a really good song. What was it? Prime Mover. There's good stuff in, like, Prime Mover, but, like, it just doesn't stick the landing with all of it, right? And from the pinnacle to the pit, that verse, that guitar riff is amazing. Combine that with Prime Mover. Combine the friggin' songs to make them incredible instead of having like 80 songs that are just like, man, underused potential. I care about this stuff. I love it. This is my life, rock and roll. It's the only thing I care about. I feel like I'm the only one on the planet who's like, hey, let's actually make sure we have good rock and roll and we actually have a good generation of rock and roll, because the labels used to be the only people who were invested in rock and roll happening. Now the label structure doesn't even make sense. There's no finances to it. So now there's no one in the room, no one in the world discussing how do we make good rock music. It's like, I want Ghost to be the greatest band of all time. So just do the freaking work. It's already there. Oh my God. Yeah, so if you care about rock, or if you disagree with me, go yell at me in the comments. Like, comment, subscribe. If you're a Latina, hit me up. Austin, Texas Latinas. Yeah. I don't know. I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed. I love Ghost and what they've got going on, which is why I'm disappointed. I'm upset. It's so good. So people call it Scooby-Doo metal. You know why? Because they have stuff that's here and stuff that's here. They have stuff that, ooh, spooky metal. Slop metal. And they've also got really like, family-friendly punk. Family-friendly pop. Family-friendly pop. That's what they get called freaking Scooby-Doo metal. When they could just be called a rock band. Metal is a pejorative if it's not also accompanied by rock. You wonder? That's the whole point of this thing. It's slop. They're saying it's slop pop. It's poppy slop. That's what it is. Because if you take a poppy song, which is metal, like Concrete or whatever, Bury Me 6 Feet Deep, Bury Me in Concrete or whatever, it's high energy and catchy, so they just call it rock and or pop and or metal. They don't just call it Scooby-Doo metal. You know what I mean? They don't just say, oh, it's well-branded stuff that's got slop metal and it's got some poppy things. Barely poppy stuff and slop metal. Guys, you can be the greatest band of all time. Queens of Stone Age, Queens of Stone Age is a great example of right here. Most of it's right here. But everyone's like, my artistic integrity or just the marketing and the branding. It's like, Ghost should be better than Kiss, okay? Because they got to learn all the lessons from Kiss. Kiss shouldn't be beating Ghost. Why is Kiss a better version of Ghost? Ghost, you have a more defined brand. You have a crazy live show. You got your live show is better than Kiss because you learned all the lessons. Why won't you do it the songs too? Where is your I was made for loving you, baby? Don't say it's Mary on the Cross. Don't say it's that. Don't. I went on TikTok. It's a boring pop song. It's okay, kind of interesting. It was a TikTok sound. You made a sound bite, not a song. Like the video. If you like the video, end video. I'll see you in the next video. I don't even know who I'm talking about next time. Gosh. You need to do better.